everyone! Today's video is going to be very related to college, as you can see from the title. Great time for the phone to ring! Great. So, today what I wanted to talk about is languages degrees. My favourite thing on the planet. I love them with all my heart. I really do. No, I really don't. I hate my degree so much. Which makes me sound so ungrateful for having third level education, which is not what I want to put across. I am berating myself for choosing this degree. So in no way, shape or form do I want to come across as ungrateful for having an education. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I was stupid. If you want to find out what a language degree is really like, keep watching. I say very aggressively. So first and foremost, you go into a language degree presuming that you'll be learning the language of your choosing, whatever you've chosen. I chose French and I chose Irish. It's not the way it works. You do language classes. For me, when I was in first year, I'd say I had, I don't know, roughly 4 hours of language classes. I had a oral class, 1 hour of oral language a week, 1 hour. I had 2 written classes. That's actually 3 hours of language learning in your first year of uni. And I'm not sure if that's the case for every single university. Great. Where was I? Yes, 3 hours in your first year. It's awful. It's so not conducive to good language learning, and you can't practice your oral language at all. It's not worth it, you know? The second really kind of negative, I'm going to use the word negative a lot in this video. The second really negative thing is that you do a lot more cultural study than you do language study. And what I mean by that is that you study the politics of the country, of your language, the history and the literature. So much literature. My god, if you don't like reading, really do not do a language degree. I cannot. My god, if you don't like reading, you're screwed. Sorry, you're screwed. Like, it's just, that sounds very fatalistic, and I think, you know, hypothetically, if somebody I know is watching this, or somebody from my class, or somebody in my university is watching this, they're gonna think that I'm being really harsh and, you know, as I say, fatalistic. But please, I kind of enjoy reading at the best of times. Like, I mean, I used to love it when I was younger, but now not so much. So when I came into first year and we were forced to read Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett, no hate to Samuel Beckett, but it was all through French, and it was hell. It was honestly hell. So alongside that, you do a lot of politics and history. I hate politics passionately. I really hate discussing politics. I have no interest in it, which sounds, again, awful, but it's true. I'm sorry, I can't be anything but honest. And history. Really, I'm not a fan of history. I recognise its importance, as I do with politics, but I'm not interested. Sorry. So you do a lot of that. You do an awful lot of that. You do far more of that than you do actual language learning. So for me, when I was in first year, I had, I think it was 2 hours of politics a week. It was 1 lecture and 1 tutorial, and the same for literature. So 1 lecture, 1 tutorial. So combine that and you get 4 hours of nothing to do with languages and 3 hours of languages. It's just, and all of that for me, all of that was through English. I don't know if that's the case for everywhere, but it is for me anyway. And now that I'm in my final year, I'm doing only French. I'm not doing Irish. But for this video, I think I will actually focus more on French because it's just, you can only study it in Ireland. So I feel like it's not very useful. My Irish side of the degree was actually better. I'm going to say that right now. It was actually much better. It was much more language focused. And you do a lot of literature, but it was still relevant. It was all through Irish, so it was fantastic. So, but in terms of French, no, not good. The other big thing is your year abroad. Now, personally, the year abroad was what scared me the most. I really did not want to do it. If you don't know already, I hate traveling. So I'm making myself I'm making myself sound like a terrible person in this video. I hate traveling, I hate politics, I hate history. But it's true, it's just not for me. And I think that actually is the case for a lot more people than they let on, so, haha. Yeah, so your year abroad. For my course, it wasn't mandatory. It was 2 months in France, or a francophone country. Which was fine, that was fine by me, but I still did not enjoy doing it. But I suppose, you know, I can't really speak too much of that because I didn't do a year abroad. But the whole going abroad for 2 months thing wasn't my favourite part of the course. But it was necessary. I can only blame myself for choosing this course because I knew what I was getting into in that regard before I got into it. So, you know, that's my fault. Okay, so I have a list of pros and cons, and the only pro that I've put down is that you learn how to be a good critical thinker. And that is through all of the literature study that you do, all the politics that you do. You do learn how to think critically, and that is really what universities try and teach you. So, in that regard, languages degrees are good. On the much more negative side, as far as I'm concerned, let me read my list. Hardly any language classes. We said that. The lack of fluency. I'm not fluent in French at all. Not even a tiny bit. And you could say that that's down to me not practicing enough, not putting enough effort into my own learning, and all of that is true because I don't care enough. But I do believe that other institutions across the world where you learn English as a foreign language, they come over to Ireland or to the UK or America, and their standard of English is light years above our standard of French, Spanish, German, whatever it is. There has to be something wrong with the system. It cannot be the case that it's just we're all terrible. So, and that kind of brings me on to my next bit, is the whole issue of self-teaching. Really, with a languages degree, you're teaching yourself all of the time. You go to a lecture, you take down notes, but then you might have one class afterwards, one tutorial, and that's it. You really have to motivate yourself to learn the language, and that is so difficult unless you have some kind of a motivation, whether it be like a friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a job that you really want abroad, but you need some sort of external motivation, and if you don't have that, it ain't good. It's really not good at all. In terms of careers after a languages degree, really the main ones are teaching and translation and interpretation. You can go and do things like public relations, you can go and do a master's, you can go and do research, academic research, and if you're interested in that, fantastic, that is really, really brilliant for you, and I'm happy for you that you found what you want to do. But if you were like me, and you went into your languages degree because you were good at languages, I have nothing after I leave college that I really want to do. You know, I can go and do a master's if I really want to, but I don't want to at all. I regret doing my course. You know, what was kind of unfortunate for me was that I was really good at languages in school, so I almost felt obliged to do something that I was good at. And I regret it massively. Like, I think I was definitely just trying to please teachers and please my parents and please people around me that wanted to put me inside that box of, oh, Clodagh, languages. If you don't have that end goal, I honestly would not go into a languages degree unless you know that you want to be a teacher, translator, interpreter, something to do with languages, or unless you want to go off and do a master's in public relations or in human resources or something, then don't do it. Don't be me. I think that's the end of the video. The crux of it is that if you are good at languages but you don't have a kind of an end goal in sight, I would not recommend a languages degree, personally. I have spoken to so many people who are of the same opinion, both in my university and elsewhere. Enjoying learning languages is not enough to go into a languages degree. You really need to actually want to do something afterwards for it to be useful for you in the future, because realistically it's all well and good to learn a language, but you can do that without a degree, and it's so much less expensive. It is far better learning. You're focusing solely on the language, which is what we don't do in college. It makes me so angry. So in that regard, please, 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 just don't go into a degree just because you're good at the subject. And that goes for actually quite a few disciplines, not just for languages. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. I'm sorry to be so vitriolic and forceful about this, but it's something I feel really strongly about. I think it needs to be so much more clearly advertised before you go into any degree, really, what comes as a result of it. Yeah, I'm sorry if anybody I know in real life sees this and thinks, Clodagh, what the fuck are you talking about? You're talking shit. I don't think I am. I think I'm being very honest here, and a lot of videos that I've watched on YouTube about language degrees are all very positive and say, oh, you can go into so many different fields and it's fantastic and you make so many friends abroad and you do all these things. It's not the way it works for everybody at all. I hope that was helpful. Don't do a languages degree. It's all I can say, unless you want to be a teacher, translator, interpreter, something to do with languages. Have a plan when you go in, research the absolute shit out of your degree, and don't be me. Don't be stupid. Okay, love you all. Thank you for watching.